Laura Costa, a 28-year-old lawyer, returned to her hometown after years away. The reason was serious. Her father, Antonio Costa, was in critical condition in the hospital after a car accident. The atmosphere was tense and the anguish was palpable when Laura entered the hospital, finding her mother, Helena, at Antonio's bedside. Helena was in tears, and Laura's expression was cold, marked by the anger and resentment accumulated over the years. Laura, looking at Antonio, "I don't know what I expected to find here, but this isn't it. You're still here, even after everything that happened." Helena, raising her tearful eyes, "Laura, he's in critical condition. We need you now more than ever." Laura, "I don't know if I can help, Mom. Things between us have never been easy." Veronica, approaching Laura, "Laura, please. You can't do this now. He needs all of us." Laura, overcome by frustration and resentment, decides not to intervene in crucial medical decisions. Her choice results in Antonio falling into an even more serious condition. Helena and Veronica are devastated, and the family atmosphere becomes even more tense. Ricardo Almeida, Laura's ex-husband, begins to investigate what really happened, while Amanda Ribeiro, the nurse, becomes a crucial witness. At Laura's office, Carlos Oliveira, a rival lawyer, sees an opportunity to exploit Antonio's situation to gain an advantage in a legal dispute. The conversation between Laura and Carlos is fraught with tension. Carlos Oliveira, "Laura, I heard about what happened to your father. I think we can discuss some legal issues that may help you resolve this situation." Laura, irritated, "Carlos, I don't have time for your proposals right now. My father is in danger." Carlos Oliveira, "I understand, but that's exactly why you need help. You don't want this to affect your professional life even more, do you?" Meanwhile, at home, Helena and Veronica face the challenge of keeping the family together. Eduardo Ribeiro, Helena's current husband, tries to mediate the situation, but his financial involvement with the family creates new tensions. Eduardo Ribeiro, "Helena, we need to think about how we are going to handle the family's finances now. Antonio's condition could affect everything." Helena, desperately, "Eduardo, I can't think about anything else other than Antonio's health. Please don't add more problems." Veronica, trying to intervene, "Maybe we can find a way to resolve this without increasing the pressure on Mom." Marta Lima, Antonio's loyal secretary, offers support and tries to help deal with the family's documents and finances, while the situation at the hospital continues to worsen. Marta Lima, "Helena, I know this is a difficult time. I've known Antonio for years, and he has always been a man of principles. If you need help dealing with the documents and finances, I'm here to help." Eduardo Ribeiro, "Thank you, Marta. But the situation is more complicated than it seems. We need to find a solution for the business while we deal with Antonio's condition." Helena, opening the desk drawer, "I'm going to get some documents that might help us. I need a moment to calm down." Marta Lima, "I'll help you look, Helena. Antonio's health is the priority, but we also need to make sure everything is in order." While Laura deals with the turmoil, she visits Claudia Pereira, her therapist, to try to better understand her emotions and decisions. Claudia Pereira, "Laura, I need you to tell me more about what happened. Why did you make this decision not to intervene?" Laura Costa, with tears in her eyes, "I feel like my father never believed in me, never valued me. The collapse of the company was the end for me. He made choices that destroyed our family." Claudia Pereira, "It's understandable that you're hurt, but we need to find a way to deal with these feelings so that you can make more balanced decisions." Ricardo Almeida, Laura's ex-husband and an investigative journalist, begins to investigate Antonio's situation. He finds signs of something bigger at play and seeks to clarify the details. Ricardo Almeida, in a phone conversation with Laura, "Laura, I've started to investigate what happened. There are some inconsistencies in the accounts of your father's accident. I can find out more if you let me help." Laura Costa, "Ricardo, I don't know if I can trust you. It's been a long time since we spoke and our relationship is complicated." Ricardo Almeida, "I understand, but my goal is to find the truth. This may help clarify things and, who knows, help your father." Amanda Ribeiro, the nurse responsible for Antonio, shares her observations with Helena about Laura's behavior. Amanda Ribeiro, "Helena, I noticed that Laura was a little distant and worried. I don't know if that may have influenced the situation, but I thought it was important to report it." Helena, thank you for telling me. It's hard to deal with this, but we need all the information to understand what's going on. Lucas Mendez, Antonio's partner, finds financial documents that indicate possible fraud. He begins to suspect that Antonio's accident may be linked to something else. Lucas Mendez, reviewing documents. These records are worrying. If there is fraud, it could explain many recent financial problems. We need to investigate further. Marta Lima, entering Lucas' office. Lucas, did you find anything important? The situation is getting worse and we need answers. Lucas Mendez. Yes, Marta. We found evidence of suspicious financial transactions. This may be linked to what's happening with Antonio. As the investigation progresses, Laura searches for answers and ends up returning to Claudia Pereira's office, visibly shaken by the recent discoveries and interactions. Claudia Pereira. Laura, how are you dealing with all of this? I can see that you're very affected. What happened? Laura Costa. I am confused and scared. The revelations I have uncovered are more complicated than I had imagined. It feels like there is something much bigger at play. Claudia Pereira. Let's take this one step at a time. Talk about your discoveries and what you think they might mean. As secrets begin to emerge, family ties become even more complex. Laura is forced to confront not only her father's critical situation, but also the hidden truths that threaten to destroy everything that remains of the Costa family. Laura, now increasingly involved in the complexities of the situation, begins to realize that the crisis surrounding her father may have deeper ramifications than she initially imagined. Her determination to uncover the truth leads her to explore new leads and interact with more people connected to the situation. At the hospital, Helena and Veronica struggle to deal with the emotional impact of the situation and the administrative complexities that arise. Eduardo, concerned about the family's financial situation, tries to offer a solution to ease the burden on Helena. Eduardo Ribeiro. Helena, I've been thinking. We could hire a financial consultant to help us understand the situation and reorganize our finances while we deal with the health crisis. Helena, in a tired voice. That might be a good idea, Eduardo. We need help, but I'm so focused on Antonio that I can barely think about anything else. Veronica. I'm worried too. What if there's something else that needs to be resolved? Maybe we should look into the finances in more detail. Meanwhile, Marta Lima, Antonio's secretary, decides to share confidential information with Laura, hoping to help clarify the situation. Marta Lima. Laura, I found some old documents that might be related to the company's collapse. I'm not sure if they're relevant, but they might be a starting point. Laura Costa, examining the documents. Thank you, Marta. This could be crucial. We need to check everything carefully to see if there's any connection to what's happening now. Lucas Mendez, now aware of the gravity of the situation, continues to investigate the suspicious financial documents. He discovers a series of bank transactions that may indicate a money laundering scheme. Lucas Mendez, talking to Marta. Marta, these transactions appear to be from a money laundering scheme. This may be related to what is happening with Antonio. Marta Lima. This is serious. We need to make sure this information is shared with the authorities so they can investigate further. Scene: Ricardo Almeida's clinic. Ricardo Almeida investigates further the inconsistencies in the accident report. He discovers that there are witnesses who may have seen something crucial. Ricardo Almeida, talking to a witness. Did you see the accident? Can you tell me exactly what happened? Any details could be important. Witness. Yes, I was there. I saw that there was something strange about the behavior of the driver of the other vehicle. It seemed like he was acting suspiciously. Ricardo Almeida. Thank you. This may be relevant to the investigation. I will follow this lead. Scenario: Claudia Pereira's office. Laura, after a series of stressful events and new discoveries, returns to Claudia Pereira's office to explore more deeply her emotions and how they are affecting her decisions. Claudia Pereira. Laura, how are you dealing with the new discoveries? It is important that you find a way to manage stress in order to make rational decisions. Laura Costa. I'm exhausted and confused. Every time I think I'm getting closer to the truth, more complications arise. I don't know who to trust anymore. Claudia Pereira. It's normal to feel this way. Try to focus on the things you can control and keep following the leads. Let's deal with this one step at a time. As the investigation deepens, New information and characters come into play. Patricia Alves, a financial consultant who is hired by Eduardo to help reverse the financial crisis. She is shrewd and has a complex past involving Antonio's company. Ricardo Ferreira, a private detective hired by Laura to investigate Antonio's accident. He is experienced and has a good instinct for uncovering hidden truths. Amanda Costa, Laura and Veronica's cousin, who returns to the city after years away. She is an investigative journalist and tries to help uncover the facts. Gabriel Castro, a former employee of Antonio's company who has valuable information about the financial collapse. He is reluctant to talk due to a confidentiality agreement. Diana Santana, Helena's longtime friend who becomes involved in the situation by offering emotional support and trying to mediate family tensions. Jorge Lima, Marta's husband who has inside knowledge of business practices and can provide insight into the financial documents. Sofia Ribeiro, Ricardo Almeida's daughter and a rising lawyer. She begins investigating on her own and ends up getting involved in the case. João Pedro, a co-worker of Laura who uncovers important information about Antonio's company that could be crucial to understanding the collapse. Beatriz Fernandez, an independent investigator who has an interest in Antonio's case and contacts Laura to share her findings. Felipe Costa, Laura and Veronica's cousin who works at a security company and can provide access to important records and evidence. Tanya Almeida, Ricardo Almeida's mother who is an influential figure in the community and uses her connections to help solve the case. Marcelo Vieira, a lawyer specializing in financial fraud cases who is consulted by Laura to better understand the legal implications of the findings. Patricia Alves is called in to help reorganize the family's finances. She examines the documents and notices irregularities that indicate a complex scheme. Patricia Alves, analyzing documents. These records show unusual transactions. There are signs of money laundering and financial manipulation. This needs to be investigated thoroughly. Eduardo Ribeiro, this is exactly what we feared. We need to act quickly to prevent further damage. Ricardo Ferreira, the private detective, works to find out more about the accident. He speaks to witnesses and analyzes evidence to find the truth. Ricardo Ferreira, examining evidence. The evidence indicates that the accident may have been caused by something more than just a driving error. There are signs of sabotage. Laura Costa, this changes everything. If someone sabotaged the accident, then we are dealing with a larger conspiracy. Amanda Costa, Laura and Veronica's cousin, decides to help with the investigation and brings new information as a journalist. Amanda Costa, I found some sources that claim that Antonio's company was involved in shady financial schemes. This could explain the collapse. Laura Costa, this is exactly what we need. We need to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. As events unfold, family tensions and financial complexities intertwine. Laura, Helena, Veronica, and the other characters struggle to uncover the truth and resolve the crisis that threatens to destroy all that is left of the Costa family. The investigations reveal a web of corruption and betrayal that challenges the morality and integrity of everyone involved. Eduardo, concerned about the growing financial and emotional pressure, decides to call an emergency meeting with Helena and Veronica. The goal is to discuss the recent discoveries and plan the next steps. Eduardo Ribeiro, we need to act quickly. Patricia has found evidence of fraud, and the situation is getting worse. Let's organize an action plan to deal with this. Helena, I'm exhausted and I can't process all of this. Antonio's health is our priority, but the finances need to be addressed too. Veronica, I agree. Maybe we should involve all the professionals we have and form a strategy to face this crisis. Patricia Alves, the first thing we should do is ensure that the company's finances are investigated by experts. If there really is a scheme, we need to expose it as soon as possible. Lucas Mendez, still focused on investigating the suspicious financial transactions, meets with Jorge Lima, Marta's husband, to discuss the details found. Lucas Mendez, Jorge, these documents show a pattern of financial movement that is not normal. Could there be an internal explanation for this? Jorge Lima, possibly. Antonio has always been very secretive about certain financial aspects. There were rumors about questionable practices, but it was never confirmed. Lucas Mendez, we need to find out if these practices are related to the recent collapse. The investigation needs to be deepened. Ricardo Ferreira, the private detective, reviews the evidence gathered about the accident. He finds more details about the suspicious behavior of the driver of the other vehicle. Ricardo Ferreira, speaking to Laura, "There is something important that I discovered. The driver of the other car had a history of involvement in illegal activities. This may be linked to what happened to your father. This changes everything. If he was involved in illegal activities, perhaps the accident was not just an accident. We need to proceed with caution." Laura, increasingly pressured, returns to Claudia Pereira's office to vent and seek guidance. Claudia Pereira, "Laura, how are you dealing with the new discoveries? The pressure must be intense." Laura Costa, "I am feeling a mixture of anger and despair. Every time I think I am getting closer to the truth, something new comes up. I am lost." Claudia Pereira, "It is normal to feel this way. The important thing is that you remain focused and seek support when necessary. The truth will come out eventually." Sofia Ribeiro, Ricardo Almeida's daughter, decides to get involved in the investigation. She uses her legal knowledge to better understand the legal implications of the discoveries. Sofia Ribeiro, "Laura, my parents and I decided to help. I will review the legal documents and see if there is any basis for prosecuting anyone involved in the fraud." Laura Costa, "Thank you very much, Sofia. We need all the help we can get to resolve this." Beatriz Fernandez, the independent investigator, contacts Laura to share her findings about Antonio's situation and the company. Beatriz Fernandez, "Laura, I did some investigation of my own and found connections between your father's company and a larger corruption scheme. There are many interests involved." Laura Costa, "This is alarming. We need to expose this so the truth can come out. Everyone involved needs to be held accountable." Felipe Costa, Laura and Veronica's cousin, uses his security skills to access important records and evidence related to the case. Felipe Costa, "I found some security records that could be crucial. There are recordings that show suspicious activity at the company." Laura Costa, "Excellent work, Felipe. Let's review these recordings and see what we can find." Diana Santana, Helena's longtime friend, organizes a meeting to offer emotional support and try to mediate family tensions. Diana Santana, "Helena, I know things are tough. I'm here to help keep the family together and provide emotional support for everyone." Helena, "Thank you, Diana. This means a lot to me. The pressure is unbearable, and it's good to know we have someone to trust." Marcelo Vieira, a lawyer specializing in financial fraud, is consulted to better understand the legal implications of the documents found. Marcelo Vieira, "These documents clearly show a fraud scheme. If proven, this could lead to legal action against everyone involved." Laura Costa, "We need to make sure everything is documented correctly so we can move forward with legal action." Laura, Ricardo, Sofia, and the others involved meet to discuss the progress of the investigation and plan next steps. Laura Costa, "We have several pieces of the puzzle now. The financial fraud, the suspicious behavior of the driver, and the connections to the larger scheme. We need to put it all together." Ricardo Almeida, "We will gather all the evidence and prepare a detailed report. This will give us a solid foundation to expose the truth and seek justice." Sofia Ribeiro, "We will prepare the legal documentation and work with the authorities to ensure that everyone involved is held accountable." Beatriz Fernandez, "We should also consider the possibility of a public expose to ensure that the truth reaches everyone." Laura Costa, "I agree. We need to act quickly and ensure that justice is served. The truth needs to come out, and all those responsible must be held accountable." As the investigation progresses and new information comes to light, the picture becomes increasingly complicated. The search for the truth reveals a web of corruption and betrayal that threatens to destroy the Costa family and affect the lives of everyone involved. Laura and the other characters continue their struggle to resolve the crisis and face the consequences of their discoveries. The investigation team, now comprised of Laura, Ricardo, Sofia, Beatriz, and Felipe, meets at the Costa family home to consolidate the information and prepare an action plan. The tension in the air is palpable as they discuss the next steps. Laura Costa, "We need to be methodical. We have enough evidence to open a formal investigation, but there are still details that we need to confirm." Ricardo Ferreira, "I agree. The security footage and financial documents are a good start. The next step is to ensure that all the evidence is presented to the appropriate authorities." Beatriz Fernandez, "We also need to consider the communication strategy. If we disclose the information correctly, we can ensure that the truth is known publicly. Sofia Ribeiro, we will prepare a detailed report and involve the authorities. Public exposure may speed up the process, but we must ensure that all the evidence is in order. Felipe Costa, I am reviewing the security footage and will ensure that all the data is correctly analyzed and presented. Patricia Alves, the financial consultant, is reviewing the documents and reports. She comes across more irregularities and decides to meet with Eduardo to discuss her findings. Patricia Alves, Eduardo, I found more evidence of suspicious financial movements. This confirms that there is a much broader fraud scheme than we thought. Eduardo Ribeiro, this is even more worrying. We need to make sure that all this evidence is carefully documented and handed over to the authorities. Patricia Alves, I will prepare a detailed report to present to the Economic Police Department and the specialized lawyer. This may help to solidify the case. As the investigation continues, Antonio Costa's condition remains critical. Helena and Veronica are in Antonio's room, waiting for news. Marta Lima, the secretary, comes in to give her the latest updates. Marta Lima, Helena, Veronica, the financial documents are being reviewed. I also have an update on the accident investigation. Helena, what's new? I'm worried about everything that's happening. Marta Lima, there are signs that the accident may not have been just an accident. There is an ongoing investigation into possible sabotage. Veronica, this is more than I could have imagined. We need to make sure Antonio gets the best treatment possible while we work through these issues. Diana Santana becomes more involved in the situation, helping to mediate tensions and keep the family together. She organizes a meeting to discuss emotional support and family strategy. Diana Santana, Helena, Veronica, we need a plan to deal with the emotional and family pressure. This will help everyone stay strong during this crisis. Helena, thank you, Diana. It's hard to stay calm and deal with all of this at the same time. Your help has been crucial. Veronica, yes, we need support to help us get through this. The situation is so stressful. Marcelo Vieira, the lawyer specializing in financial fraud, works to ensure that all legal actions are prepared correctly. He meets with Laura and Sofia to review the documents and prepare the complaint. Marcelo Vieira, Laura, Sofia, the documents we have are sufficient to file a formal complaint. We need to make sure that all the evidence is well organized. Sofia Ribeiro, we are working on it. We will prepare a complete package for the authorities and make sure that all the information is clear and accurate. Veronica, trying to find some normalcy amidst the chaos, decides to investigate further about the connections between Antonio's company and the larger scheme. She seeks help from Gabriel Castro, a former employee of the company. Veronica, Gabriel, I need to understand more about what happened at the company. Do you have any information that could help shed light on what led to the collapse? Gabriel Castro, there were rumors about illegal practices, but it was difficult to confirm anything. I can show you some old documents that may be related to what is happening. Veronica, this could be useful. We need any information that can help us better understand the situation. Ricardo Ferreira continues the investigation into the accident and learns more about the driver involved. He finds a connection to a criminal group that may be linked to the financial scheme. Ricardo Ferreira, Laura, I found more information about the driver of the other vehicle. He has connections to a criminal group that may be involved in the fraud. Laura Costa, that makes sense. If the accident was sabotage, then the connection to this group could explain many details. Felipe Costa continues to review the security footage and finds a crucial piece of evidence. He discovers a recording that shows a suspicious meeting between a company executive and an unknown individual. Felipe Costa, Laura, I found an important recording. It shows a suspicious meeting that may be related to the fraud scheme. Laura Costa, this is exactly what we needed. We will analyze this recording and integrate this information into the report. As the investigation progresses, tensions at the hospital continue to rise. Helena and Veronica receive updates on Antonio's condition, while the family prepares to face the truth. Helena, it's so hard to wait without knowing what will happen. We are doing everything we can, but I feel like we are losing control. Veronica, we are struggling to keep the family together and resolve the situation. The truth needs to come out, and everyone needs to know what really happened. Laura, now with all the information gathered, begins to prepare the final report for the authorities. She is determined to ensure that the truth is revealed and that justice is served. Laura Costa, we have all the evidence we need. We will make sure that everything is well documented and handed over to the authorities. Sofia Ribeiro, we will review everything one more time to make sure there are no mistakes. The report needs to be perfect. Laura Costa, we are so close to resolving this. We just need to make sure that the truth is known and that all those responsible are brought to justice. Laura, Sofia, Ricardo, and Beatriz meet with the authorities to deliver the detailed report and the evidence they have gathered. The atmosphere is one of anticipation and tension, with everyone aware of the importance of the presentation. Laura Costa, we are here to deliver a detailed report on the financial fraud and possible sabotage scheme involving my father's accident. The evidence we have gathered is extensive, and we need the investigation to be conducted with the utmost seriousness. Detective in charge, I understand. We will review everything you have brought and make sure that the investigation proceeds appropriately. This appears to be a complex and serious case. Sofia Ribeiro, we will also provide access to all security footage and documents we have collected. Any detail could be crucial to the investigation. Beatriz Fernandez, we are available to provide any additional information or clarifications needed. The truth needs to come out. Scenario: Veronica's home. As the investigation progresses, Veronica revisits Gabriel Castro's office to review old documents. She looks for patterns or information that may have been missed previously. Veronica, Gabriel, can you help me understand these documents? We need to make sure there are no missing pieces that could be relevant to the investigation. Gabriel Castro, sure, I will help you. These documents may contain information about transactions and agreements that could indicate corruption or mismanagement. Laura returns to Claudia Pereira's office to discuss the emotional impact of the situation and how it is affecting her mental health. Claudia Pereira, Laura, how are you dealing with all the pressure? The situation is difficult, and it is important that you take care of yourself during this process. Laura Costa, it's very difficult to stay calm. Each day seems to bring new complications and challenges. I'm exhausted, but I need to keep fighting for the truth. Claudia Pereira, remember that it's crucial to find a balance and seek support when needed. Your mental health is important, especially at times like these. The Costa family meets to discuss the latest developments and Antonio's condition. The meeting is filled with emotion and uncertainty about the future. Helena, the report has been delivered, and now we're waiting for the authorities to act. In the meantime, we need to stay calm and continue supporting each other. Veronica, the situation is difficult, but we have to believe that the truth will come out. We're doing everything we can to resolve this. Diana Santana, we'll continue to provide emotional support and keep the family together. Together, we can face any challenge. Marcelo Vieira is preparing the legal documents to start the case against those involved in the fraud. He's reviewing every detail to ensure the case is well-founded. Marcelo Vieira, Laura, Sofia, I am finalizing the legal documentation to begin the process. We need to ensure that all the evidence is presented clearly and accurately. Sofia Ribeiro, we are confident that the evidence is strong. We will ensure that the process is conducted fairly and that all those involved are held accountable. Laura Costa, thank you for your support. We will continue to fight for justice to be served. Ricardo Ferreira continues to investigate the criminal group that may have been involved in the sabotage. He discovers new connections that may be crucial to solving the case. Ricardo Ferreira, Laura, I have found more information about the criminal group. They have links to other illegal activities that may be related to the fraud and the accident. Laura Costa, this may be the missing piece that connects everything. We will ensure that this information is integrated into the investigation. Patricia Alves discusses the Costa family's financial situation with Eduardo, providing an update on the steps being taken to resolve the crisis. Patricia Alves, Eduardo, we are working to turn the financial situation around. The consultancy is helping to identify areas where we can cut costs and improve management. Eduardo Ribeiro, this is a relief. We need to ensure that the family can recover financially while we face this crisis. Felipe Costa is working on analyzing the security recordings and has found a crucial new detail that could change the direction of the investigation. Felipe Costa, Laura, I found something important in the recordings. There is a conversation between a company executive and an unknown individual that mentions a significant payment. Laura Costa, this could indicate that there is an attempt to cover up the scheme. We will integrate this into our presentation to the authorities. Antonio continues to receive treatment in the hospital, and Helena and Veronica remain by his side. The wait for progress is agonizing, Helena, but the determination to solve the case to see an improvement. In the meantime, we will do everything in our power to ensure that the truth is discovered. Veronica, yes, we need to keep fighting. Every small victory brings us closer to resolving this situation. Beatriz Fernandez, as an independent investigator, is preparing to release her findings to the public. She believes that public exposure can help put pressure on the authorities and speed up the resolution of the case. Beatriz Fernandez, I am preparing a report for the media. Public exposure can increase pressure on those involved and speed up justice. Laura Costa, this could be a good step. We need to make sure that the truth is known to everyone and that those responsible are held accountable. The Costa family meets again to discuss the latest updates and the final action plan. Helena, we have all the evidence we need and the process is underway. The next step is to continue supporting each other and hope that justice is served. Laura Costa, we are working on all fronts possible to ensure that the truth comes out. Let's remain hopeful and determined. Veronica, the situation is complex, but we are closer to resolving it. We must remain united and strong. Laura, Ricardo, Sofia, and Beatriz meet with the head of investigation to discuss the progress of the case and next steps. The meeting is tense, but everyone is determined to move forward. Head of investigation, we have received the detailed report and evidence. We need to ensure that all details are reviewed accurately in order to move forward with the process. Laura Costa, we are available for any additional clarification. We want to ensure that all information is understood and used appropriately. Ricardo Ferreira, we also have new discoveries about the criminal group. This information could be crucial to connecting the dots and solving the case. Beatriz Fernandez, we are prepared to collaborate with the media if necessary to ensure that public pressure helps to accelerate the investigation. Head of investigation, we will review everything thoroughly and determine the next steps. We appreciate your effort and collaboration. Veronica is reviewing the financial documents with Gabriel and discovers an alarming pattern of unrecorded payments. They discuss the implications of these findings. Veronica, Gabriel, these unrecorded payments are concerning. They may be a key part of the fraud scheme. Gabriel Castro, yes, and there may be a direct link between these payments and the criminal group. We need to ensure that this information is added to the investigation. Laura returns to Claudia Pereira's office, seeking emotional support as she copes with the increasing pressure of the case and her father's health. Laura Costa, Claudia, the pressure is unbearable. I am trying to stay calm and continue the fight, but it is difficult. Claudia Pereira, it is understandable. The situation is extremely stressful. It is important that you find ways to cope with stress and continue to seek support when needed. Laura Costa, I really appreciate your support. It has been a relief amidst all the turmoil. Marcelo Vieira, now with the legal paperwork nearly complete, discusses legal strategies with Laura and Sofia to prepare the case against those responsible. Marcelo Vieira, we are almost ready to start the case. We need to make sure the accusation is well-founded and that all the details are clear. Sofia Ribeiro, we will review all the documents one more time and make sure there are no flaws. The presentation needs to be impeccable. Laura Costa, we are committed to ensuring that justice is served. Any additional details we can provide will help strengthen the case. Ricardo Ferreira shares new information with Laura about the criminal group, revealing additional connections that may be important to the case. Ricardo Ferreira, Laura, I have discovered more details about the criminal group. They have a history of contract manipulation and financial corruption. This could be key to the case. Laura Costa, this reinforces our theory that the fraud and the accident are interconnected. We will integrate this information into our strategy. The Costa family meets to discuss Antonio's health and the latest developments in the investigation. The meeting is filled with hope and concern. Helena, we are waiting for an update on the legal process. I hope everything moves forward quickly so that we can finally have justice. Veronica, in the meantime, we need to continue offering support to Antonio and each member of the family. This is crucial for all of us. Diana Santana, the family needs to remain united and strong. Together, we can face any challenge that comes our way. Beatriz Fernandez, in preparing the public presentation, reviews all documents and evidence to ensure that communication with the media is effective and accurate. Beatriz Fernandez, I am organizing the presentation for the media. The public presentation can help to put pressure on the authorities and ensure that justice is served. Laura Costa, this can be an important step in accelerating the resolution of the case. The truth needs to be known by everyone. Antonio's condition continues to be a point of constant concern. Helena and Veronica spend their time in the hospital, hoping for an improvement. Helena, the wait is so difficult. We need to keep believing that he will recover and that the truth will come out. Veronica, yes, the situation is distressing, but we must remain strong and focused. Every step we take brings us closer to the resolution. Felipe Costa, while continuing to analyze the security recordings, finds a new crucial piece of evidence that could change the course of the investigation. Felipe Costa, Laura, I found a recording that shows a meeting between two individuals discussing a suspicious payment. This could be a key piece of evidence for the case. Laura Costa, that's excellent. We will ensure that this evidence is included in the final report and presented to the authorities. The investigation leader gathers the team to discuss final progress and next steps before the case is presented to the court. Investigation leader, we are almost ready to present the case. We appreciate the effort and evidence provided. We will ensure that everything is in place for a strong prosecution. Laura Costa, we are confident that we have all the information we need. Justice must be served, and all those responsible must be held accountable. Marcelo Vieira and his team finalize the legal documents and prepare to start the legal process. They review the final details and discuss the strategy. Marcelo Vieira, we are ready to start the process. We will ensure that all the evidence and documents are in order to ensure a strong prosecution. Sofia Ribeiro, we are prepared to support the legal process and ensure that the truth is revealed. Laura Costa, I thank everyone for their effort and dedication. We will continue to fight for justice. Beatriz Fernandez organizes a press conference to announce the findings of the investigation. The room is filled with journalists and reporters. Beatriz, Laura, Sofia, and Ricardo are prepared to present the evidence. Beatriz Fernandez, thank you for meeting today. We are here to reveal new information about the financial fraud involving the Costa family and the accident that almost cost Antonio Costa his life. Reporter 1, what are the main findings you have about the case? Laura Costa, we have evidence that my father's company was involved in a financial fraud scheme involving a criminal group. This includes falsified financial documents and suspicious transactions. Reporter 2, what about the accident? How is it related to the fraud? Sofia Ribeiro, we are investigating the possibility that the accident was a planned act of sabotage to cover up the fraud and ensure that certain individuals were not discovered. Ricardo Ferreira, we have also discovered a direct connection between the criminal group and the driver of the other vehicle. This is crucial to understanding the context of the accident. Reporter 3, what is the next step in the investigation? Laura Costa, we will continue to work with the authorities to ensure that all evidence is analyzed and that those responsible are brought to justice. The Costa family meets again to discuss the latest updates following the public outing. The tension and hope are evident in the expressions of each family member. Helena, the press conference was an important step. Now that the media is involved, I hope the authorities act quickly. Veronica, yes, public pressure can help speed up the process. Let's continue to offer our support and hope for good news. Diana Santana, in the meantime, we need to remain calm and continue to support each other. The truth is coming out. The head of the investigation calls a meeting to review the progress of the case and plan the next steps now that the media is involved. Head of the investigation, we have received a great deal of information and public pressure has increased. We need to be meticulous in our approach to ensure that the prosecution is solid. Laura Costa, we are ready to provide any additional support needed. The public disclosure was an important step in ensuring that the truth is known. Ricardo Ferreira, we will continue to work with the authorities to ensure that all evidence is used to the best of its ability. Patricia Alves and Eduardo Ribeiro meet to review the latest financial findings and discuss the implications for the Costa family's financial recovery. Patricia Alves: we are finalizing the review of the finances and identifying areas where we can begin to reverse the damage caused by the fraud. Eduardo Ribeiro: this is crucial to helping the family heal. We also need to ensure that all information is updated and presented to the authorities. Laura returns to Claudia Pereira's office to discuss the emotional impact of the public exposure and how it is affecting the family. Laura Costa: the public exposure has brought a new wave of stress and pressure. How can I cope with this and continue to support my family? Claudia Pereira: it is important that you continue to seek support and find ways to relax and maintain your mental health. The pressure can be intense, but emotional support is essential. Laura Costa: I will try to follow your guidance. The situation continues to be challenging, but I am determined to see this through. Felipe Costa reviews the security recordings once again, looking for additional details that may be useful to the investigation. Felipe Costa: we found one more important detail. There is a conversation between two individuals that may indicate a plan to manipulate public opinion and divert attention from the fraud scheme. Laura Costa: this may be relevant to understanding the motive behind the sabotage. We will ensure that this information is incorporated into the final report. Antonio continues his treatment in the hospital, and Helena and Veronica remain by his side. The hope for a recovery is beginning to become more tangible. Helena: it seems that we are making progress. The investigation is moving forward, and public exposure can help resolve the case more quickly. Veronica: yes, and it is important that we continue to offer support to Antonio. Each day that passes is a step closer to resolving this situation. Marcelo Vieira and his team are finalizing the preparations for the trial, ensuring that all the details are well presented. Marcelo Vieira: we are ready to begin the trial. The evidence is well organized, and we will ensure that the presentation is clear and convincing. Sofia Ribeiro: we are confident that our preparation will be effective. The truth must come to light, and all those responsible must be held accountable. Ricardo Ferreira shares new information about the criminal group with Laura, revealing a connection that may be crucial to the case. Ricardo Ferreira: Laura, I have discovered an additional connection between the criminal group and an executive at the company. This may help strengthen our case. Laura Costa: that is excellent. We will ensure that this information is included in the case file to ensure a solid case. The Costa family gathers to discuss the next phase of the legal process and the potential impact on the final outcome. Helena: we are in the final stretch. The trial is near, and we need to remain hopeful that justice will be served. Veronica: yes, we need to continue to offer support and remain strong during this time. The truth is about to come out. Diana Santana: we are all in this fight together. Let's continue to believe in justice and the success of our case. The courtroom is filled with journalists, lawyers, and members of the Costa family. Laura, Sofia, Marcelo, and Beatriz are ready to present their case. The room is tense as the judge prepares to begin the proceedings. Judge: we are here today to begin the trial of the case involving Antonio Costa, the financial fraud, and possible sabotage. The prosecution is ready to present its evidence. Marcelo Vieira: yes, sir. We will begin by presenting the evidence that clearly shows the connection between the defendants and the financial fraud scheme, in addition to the possible sabotage that led to Antonio Costa's accident. Sofia Ribeiro: we have witnesses and documents that prove the existence of a criminal scheme and the manipulation of the events that resulted in the accident. Laura Costa is called to the witness stand to give her testimony about the impact of the fraud and the accident on her family's life. Defense attorney: Ms. Costa, can you tell us about how the fraud affected your family's life and your father's health? Laura Costa: of course. The financial fraud not only caused an economic collapse for our family, but also led to the accident that almost killed my father. The emotional and physical impact has been devastating for all of us. Defense attorney: and what are your expectations for justice being served in this case? Laura Costa: I hope that those responsible are held accountable and that the truth is revealed. We want justice for my father and our family. Ricardo Ferreira is called to testify about his findings about the criminal group and its connection to the fraud scheme. Defense attorney: Mr. Ferreira, can you explain to us the relationship between the criminal group and the financial fraud? Ricardo Ferreira: Of course. We discovered that the criminal group was involved in the manipulation of contracts and the execution of fraudulent transactions. They are also linked to the driver of the other vehicle in the accident involving Antonio Costa. And how was this information discovered? Ricardo Ferreira, through the analysis of financial documents, security recordings, and statements from company employees. Beatriz Fernandez is called to provide details about the impact of the public exposure and the evidence that was released. Defense attorney, Ms. Fernandez, what was the role of the media in the dissemination of information about this case? Beatriz Fernandez, the public exposure helped to increase pressure on the authorities and ensure that the case received the necessary attention. The evidence that was released contributed to a more thorough investigation. Defense attorney, and what were the results of this public exposure? Beatriz Fernandez, public pressure led to a faster and more detailed investigation, helping to reveal crucial connections and strengthen the case against the defendants. Marcelo Vieira makes his closing statement, summarizing the evidence and arguing in favor of convicting the defendants. Marcelo Vieira, Mr. Judge, the evidence presented clearly demonstrates the guilt of the defendants. The financial fraud was meticulously planned and executed, and the sabotage of Antonio Costa's accident was a desperate attempt to cover up the crimes. We ask that the court consider all the evidence and take into account the devastating impact on the Costa family's lives. The defense attorney makes his closing statement, attempting to argue against the charges and minimize the liability of the defendants. Defense attorney, Mr. Judge, the prosecution has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my clients were involved in the alleged crimes. We ask that the court consider the lack of direct evidence and the testimonies that indicate the innocence of the defendants. After days of testimony and arguments, the judge announces the final verdict. The courtroom is silent as the judge reads the decision. Judge, after reviewing all the evidence and hearing the testimony, the court finds the defendants guilty of the charges of financial fraud and sabotage. The sentence will be handed down at a later date. Laura Costa, finally, justice is being served. I hope this sentence brings some peace to our family. Sofia Ribeiro, we are one step closer to closing this chapter and beginning to heal the wounds caused by all of this. The Costa family gathers to celebrate the verdict and discuss next steps. Relief and hope are evident on everyone's faces. Helena, justice has been served, and now we can start rebuilding our lives. The fight was not easy, but we made it. Veronica, we will continue to support each other and focus on recovery. The truth has finally come out. Diana Santana, we are all on this journey together. Now it is time to look to the future and seek peace. Patricia Alves and Eduardo Ribeiro meet to discuss the Costa family's financial recovery plan after the case is concluded. Patricia Alves, we are beginning to rebuild the family's financial situation. It will be a long process, but we are taking the necessary steps. Eduardo Ribeiro, we will ensure that the family receives the support they need to fully recover. Financial recovery is a crucial part of this process. Laura returns to Claudia Pereira's office to discuss the emotional impact of the verdict and how it has affected her mental health. Laura Costa, the verdict has brought relief, but there is still a sense of exhaustion. How can I continue to cope with this and recover emotionally? Claudia Pereira, it is important that you continue to seek support and take care of yourself. Emotional recovery can take time, and it is crucial to find a balance and practice self-care. Laura Costa, I will follow your advice. The journey has been difficult, but I am optimistic about the future. Felipe Costa revisits the security footage, reflecting on how the evidence helped solve the case. Felipe Costa, it was difficult work, but we were able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Justice has been served, and I hope this brings a sense of closure for all of us. Laura Costa, I thank everyone for their effort and dedication. The truth has been revealed, and we can finally begin to heal. After the verdict, the Costa family gathers for a day of reflection and planning. The atmosphere is one of relief mixed with a need to adjust to the new reality. Helena, finally, we were able to close this chapter. Now we need to think about how to rebuild our lives and ensure we can move forward. Veronica, yes, recovery will be a process, but we have the advantage of being together. We will work on financial and emotional recovery. Diana Santana, it is also important that we take care of Antonio's health. His recovery will be crucial to our recovery as a family. Patricia Alves and Eduardo Ribeiro continue their work on the Costa family's financial recovery. They discuss strategies and actions to restore financial stability. Patricia Alves: we are developing a detailed plan to recover what was lost and restore the family's financial health. Eduardo Ribeiro: it will be hard work, but with a careful and meticulous approach, we can recover what was lost and ensure a secure future for the family. Laura continues her sessions with Claudia Pereira, discussing ongoing challenges and adjusting to the new phase of her life. Laura Costa: I am starting to see some clarity now, but I am still dealing with anxiety and stress. How can I continue to move forward? Claudia Pereira: it is important to establish a healthy routine and find ways to relax. Emotional recovery is an ongoing process and it is normal to need support along the way. Laura Costa: I will strive to find this balance. Emotional recovery and adaptation to the new reality are essential. Marcelo Vieira is reassessing the case to ensure that all legal aspects are fully resolved. He is reviewing the impact of the trial and the next steps. Marcelo Vieira: although the verdict has been handed down, we need to ensure that all legal consequences are implemented. The process may have additional implications. Sofia Ribeiro: we will follow any additional legal action that may arise and ensure that justice continues to be served. The conclusion of the case is not the end, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. Laura Costa meets with the head of investigation to discuss the closure of the case and the importance of collaboration between the parties involved. Head of investigation: Laura, the case was a complex challenge, but your dedication was fundamental to its resolution. The collaboration between all involved helped bring justice. Laura Costa: I am grateful for the opportunity to work with such a committed team. Justice has been served, and I hope we can move forward and focus on recovery. Head of investigation: we are all ready to close the case with a sense of accomplishment. We will continue to monitor any future developments and ensure that the legal actions are completed. The Costa family holds a small celebration to mark the end of the trial and reflect on the challenges faced. They gather for dinner, expressing their gratitude and hope for the future. Helena: this is a time for us to reflect on everything we have been through and celebrate our strength and resilience as a family. Veronica: yes, we have faced many challenges, but we have overcome them. Now it is time to focus on the future. We are on this journey together to support each other. Despite the difficulties, truth and justice have prevailed. We will continue to move forward with hope and determination. Felipe Costa reflects on the impact of his work and what the future holds for him and his family. Felipe Costa: the case was an intense experience, but I am pleased with the outcome. Now we need to continue to focus on recovery and the next steps. Laura Costa: I thank you for all your efforts. The truth has been revealed, and now we can begin to rebuild our lives. The Costa family is planning for the future, discussing goals and priorities for rebuilding and recovery. They are focusing on taking care of each other and seeking new opportunities. Helena: we will set clear goals for our recovery and ensure that each of us has a role to play in this process. Veronica: we will seek new opportunities and continue to support each other. The future may be uncertain, but we have a solid foundation to build on. Diana Santana: we are prepared to face any challenge that comes our way. Together, we can overcome any obstacle and build a better future. Beatriz Fernandez is beginning to plan new initiatives to help the community and support others affected by financial fraud. Beatriz Fernandez: the experience with this case has motivated me to create support programs for people affected by financial fraud. I want to help prevent future cases and provide support to victims. Laura Costa: this is a wonderful idea. I believe that initiatives like this can make a big difference in the lives of many people. Beatriz Fernandez: we will work together to implement these initiatives and ensure that the community has the resources and support it needs. The Costa family gathers on a sunny afternoon in the garden of their home, a space that now symbolizes hope and new beginnings. After months of struggle, the family is ready to begin a new phase of their lives. They gather for a final conversation, full of emotion and optimism. Helena: let's look at this moment as the beginning of a new journey. What we've been through has strengthened us and brought us together. Now, we can start writing a new chapter. Laura Costa: I am immensely grateful for everything we've been through together. The fight for truth and justice was not easy, but we made it through. Let's focus on creating new memories and seeking happiness and peace. Veronica: It's incredible to see how we've managed to overcome all the obstacles. The strength and love of our family have been essential to our recovery. Diana Santana, every challenge has shaped us and every victory has given us more determination. The future is full of possibilities, and I'm excited for what's to come. Felipe Costa, we are ready to use our experience to help others and make a difference. Together, we can face anything. Laura Costa, we are closing this chapter with a sense of accomplishment and hope. The truth has prevailed, and now we can move forward with a new purpose. To mark the end of a difficult chapter and celebrate the beginning of a new era, the Costa family is organizing a community event. They gather with friends, colleagues, and community members to express their gratitude and share their hopes for the future. Helena, I want to thank everyone who has been by our side during this challenging time. Your support and solidarity have been fundamental to our journey. Laura Costa, our goal now is to use our experience to do good and support those going through similar situations. Together, we can make a positive impact. Veronica, the future is bright, and we are excited to face new challenges and seize new opportunities. Diana Santana, we will continue to support and help each other. Solidarity and love are what keep us going. Thank you for following the Costa family's journey and for being with us throughout this exciting story. If you enjoyed this plot full of emotion, twists and turns and overcoming, don't forget to leave your like, share the video with your friends and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Your subscription is very important so that we can continue bringing you more incredible stories. Together, we will make every moment count and every story have the impact it deserves. Until next time.